Shalom Rav. Hello to everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. We are before Shabbat Troma, the Shabbat in the month of Pisces, the first Shabbat that speaks about all the plan how to structure the tabernacle. And we are in time, which is time before Purim. It's time for to prepare ourselves for the energy of the holiday of Purim. And I would like to talk a little bit about that as well, because next Friday would be like last minute. It says in the parasha, ויקחו לי תרומה. It says there, וידבר השם אל משה לאמור בני ישראל, ויקחו לי תרומה מאת כל איש. They should take for me a donation, and they should receive the donations from those that are giving from their heart. And he's speaking about the different types of donations that they needed for the tabernacle. And completing there with something important in chapter 25. Verse 8 says over there, and they should create a tabernacle. They should create for me a tabernacle, and I will dwell in them. The verse is not saying in the tabernacle, in them, which means that the light will dwell in the people, not just in the tabernacle. So, what do we get from here? First, that when someone is giving a donation, it's a higher quality if someone does it truly from the heart, with no expectation of receiving something from that, any type of desire to receive for oneself alone while giving the donation. You're giving it for the sake of revealing the light, that this is my privilege to participate, to be part of revelation of light. Now, at the time they gave that donation, that they were asked to structure the tabernacle, and today we know that we don't have the tabernacle or the temple, and it is saying by the different sages through generations that what we have today is a small tabernacle, like replacing, it's not replacing, but it's giving us a connection to the concept of a tabernacle, is a synagogue. Which means when there is a place where people can gather to pray and to do spiritual work, and we know that while we are praying, for example, in the prayer there is a section named the sacrifice, and that this is the section in the prayer that describe how they used to sacrifices in the temple. And the sages are saying that the moment that a person reads that paragraph, if he have intention properly in that time, it is as bringing sacrifices in the temple. So therefore, what we have left that from that time today is the synagogues that we have. So if someone wants to participate into donating, as they donated there for the temple, structuring the tabernacle, later the temple, the same over here, if someone wants to participate, we have just invested here in fixing a new synagogue for the community in Ra'anana. We still have things to do over here, and we still owe some money about fixing the place. We have a beautiful place over here, and anyone that can see himself as a partner, a spiritual partner in helping to build that structure over here, will be happy to be partners with you. And the spiritual work that will be taking place over here will benefit you as well. So this is about the tabernacle. It should be from the heart. The person really feels, I'm giving this as a privilege to give. And this is one thing, the continuation, and then I will dwell in them, which means that the person should make a tabernacle inside of himself. So one of the commentators in the book named Netivot Shalom, the Path of Peace, is saying over here that it's speaking about the fact that each individual is a small world, and therefore each individual needs to prepare himself as a tabernacle for the light. And then the light will dwell within each person from Israel. So our job here in this Shabbat to connect to the concept of preparing a tabernacle inside of us. This is why we have a beautiful hint over here in the name of the parasha. In Hebrew, truma, we can explain it in two nice ways. We can explain it in many ways, but two of them, truma is tarum hey, to elevate. Tarum is to elevate, to pick up. The letter hey that represents the malchut, that represents the vessel, that represents the desire to receive for oneself alone. When we are acting with the desire to receive for oneself alone, the vessel, the letter hey, disconnects from the upper letter of the tetragrammaton. Because in the tetragrammaton we have the letters Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. That the top three are the channels for the light to bring the light to the last one, to the last Hey, in which it manifests. Now, when the last Hey is connected with the letter above it, the Vav, then there is a flow of energy. But if the Hey is falling down, metaphorically, the Hey is falling down, it means that our actions caused a disconnection between the two letters, the Vav and the Hey. So therefore, Tarum Hey, we need to elevate that vessel. So one of the ways to elevate it is with the donations that they gave to the tabernacle. So therefore, they participated in building something which is a channel of light to the world, not just to the Israelites, to the world, literally. So being a partner in that, automatically it elevated them to a higher level, to reconnect with the light. So the donations that a person gives helps to elevate the person to a higher level if he gives it with the intention that it will be for the sake of revealing the light and it will come from the heart. Now, this is one thing of doing to elevate, but what can we do more to create tabernacle inside of us? Because if it says over here that it speaks about the individual tabernacle, not just about the global one, so I will go from here to the words of Rabbi Chaim Vital. There is a book named The Gates of Holiness, Sha'arei Kedusha, that Rabbi Chaim Vital wrote. And relatively at the beginning, he speaks there that the first step in spirituality is correcting or improving ourselves in that area named attributes. Which means we need to cleanse from ourselves the negative attributes in order to elevate spiritually, in order to have and to create a tabernacle within us. Being in this world, we are not perfect, so therefore each one of us have a certain area in life in which we need to make improvement, and that in order to be more able to receive the light of the Creator, the light of God. So, what are the attributes, the major attributes that Rabbi Chaim Vital counts as the most important to start and to be aware of? And that according to his opinion are all inclusive, that within them all the other negative attributes are included. There will be like branches from that big trunk that he's talking about. So he's talking about, number one, pride, the ego. That if, and by the way, some people are saying a person must have ego. No, we are not speaking about the person must have ego. The person must have a good self-esteem. Self-esteem, according to our understanding, is different than ego, which we would explain it as desire to see for oneself alone, acting in a selfish manner. So therefore, pride and ego, this is a big trunk of negativity that a person needs to cleanse in order to be able to get closer to the light. The other one that he's speaking about is the temptations that control the person. The temptations that are out, it's not saying not to enjoy this world, spiritually and physically. It's not saying not to enjoy the world, but to enjoy it in a balanced manner. And if someone is being ruled by the temptation, this is negative. This creates a disconnection from the light. And then speaks about gossip and all of that, lashon hara, evil tongue. This is another section. And the fourth one, sadness. And Rabbi Chaim Vital is connecting each one of these attributes to to one of the foundations, which are fire, air, water, earth. And by connecting it to one of the foundations, we can connect it also to the signs of the zodiac. This is, I'm adding, that we can connect it to the signs of the zodiac, and in most of the cases, there are exceptions to the rule for sure, but in most of the cases, people that are having a certain influence in their chart in a very dominant way, then it's most likely that they have a correction in that attribute. In most of the cases, it's like that, and I saw that when we are talking about this, sometimes people are saying, but I don't have that attribute. But if we are digging a little bit, then we find that the person has it and has a lot of it, not just have it, has a lot of it. And this is like what you are talking about, I don't have it. We think that we don't have it. But the cosmic laws are the cosmic laws, and DNA is DNA, and nature is nature, and people are influenced from the nature in the month that they were born in. Someone saying, I don't have it, maybe you are working on it, maybe you improved it, this is something else. But in general, I'm saying there are a few exceptions, yes, but in general, the law is that Rabbi Chaim Vital is saying, fire signs, the energy of fire, the element of fire is associated with pride, the only one that goes like that, high above, like the fire that goes above. This is connected with pride, the ego. So therefore, most of the times, people that have a strong fire elements in their chart, like they have many fire elements or they are born under one of the fire signs, most likely that they have a correction with pride and ego. Most likely. It would be a major correction. People that are born with the sign, with the element of water, which means they have a lot of water in their chart, or they are born under one of the signs of the water signs, then they have a connection with temptations, because water is the pleasure. Water gives pleasure, and is associated with the enjoyment of pleasures of life. If this is food, comfort, or other things, including sexual temptations and so on. And when someone is being tempted, which means if someone is being tempted, the desire is to enjoy, not in a balanced way. And the result would be a blockage and not revealing the light. When we are speaking about gossip and talking and all of that, it's associated with the air element and also with the air signs, the evil tongue or the talking too much, because Rabbi Ashlag is saying that you cannot say, I've just said it just to be nice. It was like, you talk, what is named today, the small talk. It was a small talk, so I said it. I said something like that, so what? I didn't mean anything bad with that. Rabbi Ashlag is saying that saying things just without thinking that they have an effect, it's a big mistake, because any word that comes out from the mouth of a person creates an effect. Any word. So therefore he's saying we should watch it. This is the air, and the element of earth is associated with sadness. Sadness and earth. The heaviness, the depression, and the laziness comes from that. Now, Rebbe Chaim Vital is saying, you want to develop spiritually by learning mystical stuff. Already you are a spiritual person, or by having intuition, or seeing things. It means that you are a spiritual person. No. It means that you are truly connected to the light force. No, you're getting the messages. It's good, it's beautiful, but it's not the spiritual work. It's not creating a tabernacle within you, just knowing information about the emanations and about the spirituality. What creates the vessel within the person, that the person will get to a higher level? First and number one, says Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital was the student of Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 16th century. So he's saying the first one is to cleanse your attributes. So this is why I would recommend to each one of us to decide to take upon themselves one attribute that they think that is dominating in their life, but they don't do well with that attribute, that they have a problem, difficulty with that one. If ego or laziness, or you can take it to smaller parts like envy and anger and so on. Anger is a result of pride. So to take one attribute that you know that attribute is not balanced with your behavior, you know that generally you want to create a change there, but you never get to that. I would recommend to choose one attribute, just one, and to decide that from now, from today, from the moment that we hear it, and if you hear it before Purim, from this year till Purim next year, for more than a year, meditate, concentrate, try to learn to understand what is the type of behavior that is associated with the negative attribute that you want to change within you. Look into yourself and see when it comes, how it comes, and ask for guidance and help to change it from above, from the light of God. Ask for help to be able to overcome that negative attribute. And if you need to ask people in this world, ask people to guide you how to overcome that negative attribute. But first, it starts with a decision that you decide that you want to improve yourself to be a better human being in that specific section and attribute. That from now till next year, this is going to be a major target in your personal life. Besides all the rest that you do, life, business, work, children, parents, brothers, sisters, friends, community, you choose to focus on one thing, one attribute, not more than one, just one, the major one that you think that affects your life, and start to be a better human being in that one. This is practically what it means, create a tabernacle within you. This is part of what we are talking about, starting with that type of spiritual cleansing. If you have energy to do more, do other stuff. Be a generous person. Act with mercy towards people. Don't judge people. Accept life as is, and from that try to improve it to a higher level. But we want to start with one attribute that each one will accept upon themselves, will obligate to themselves to improve that one attribute from now till next Purim. That in next Purim, if the person stops and do a personal accounting, like looking inwards, and we will ask ourselves in a year time from now, did I improve myself in that section, that area of life, that type of behavior? We need to come to the point in which we will be able to say, yes, I'm a better human being relatively to what I was last year in that aspect. So choose an aspect that really affects your life, that you see that it's dominant for you. I said before at the beginning the connection between the signs of the zodiac to the element, the signs of the zodiac, and to the attribute, because it can make it easier. Because if you are a fire sign, then you might go for pride and anger if this is the issue that you want to correct. Most likely that you will have one of them at least, something with that area. If you are speaking being water signs, just look at the temptations that you have in life, and most likely that the temptations are taking you to different directions, and it's hard for you to focus on one thing in life as well, to be creative the way that you can be. And so therefore, it's important. It's affecting many areas of life by doing that. So this is about creating a tabernacle inside of us. Now, next week we are coming for Purim. Purim, it is energy of unity. Because in the time of Purim, a person named Haman, that was the descendant from the nation of Amalek, the Amalekites, wanted to destroy all the Jewish people of that time. And through few sages, there was guidance that was given to the people, through which they were able to turn the judgment into mercy. They turned it over. It was supposed to be like the end, and they turned it into a big miracle, big revelation of light, big blessing. Now, yes, there were few righteous people that guided the people. But the people accept to participate, and they participated from all their heart. And what they've done, they changed their perception of life from individual human being to a community. I'm part of everyone. I'm not alone. And if you've heard last week lecture about the concept of giving the donation of half of a shekel that they were given the people of Israel, then you'll understand the connection to what I'm saying now. That we need to see ourselves as part of the environment, part of the community. And the moment that they were able to come into unity, there was enough energy that the righteous people could direct in order to create the miracle, to change what was decided in the spiritual realm. Because we need to understand, when there is a decree in this world, the decree is heard in this physical, corporeal matter reality just after that the decision is taking place in the spiritual realm. So if we want to change something, we need enough energy that the change will take place, and there will be enough energy to go to change it on the spiritual realm where the decision took place, not on the external level, in the seed level. So in order that the righteous people will have that energy to create a miracle for all the people of Israel, they needed the support of the people. And the moment that the people of Israel were united together, the energy field that was created from that unity was very powerful and was sufficient for Mordechai, Esther, and Daniel the prophet to create that desired change. The same in life today. Globally, we want to have a change. But in order to have a global change, even though that sometimes, and not sometimes, every generation there are righteous people that are capable to create things like that, but we need that the people will be united. We need to be united. But it's very hard today to unite people together. Very hard, because everyone thinks to themselves, take care of themselves, because if I won't take care of myself, who will take care of me? But the energy of unity, taking care of one another, as they did in Purim, they gave gifts to the poor. They sent the gifts one to another. The charity to the poor, gifts one to another. They fasted for 3 days. They stopped all actions for 3 days. Just imagine what goes on in 3 days that you are not eating and drinking. At the beginning, it's a lot of craving, but then you have time to think, just a second, why I'm doing it? Why we came to the point in which we need to do that? They had time to think. They've changed their concept of understanding life in that moment. They realized that the energy of separation and selfishness caused that problem. The moment that they changed that energy field, the miracle took place. So the same over here with us. The energy that we need is energy of unity. So one step towards unity is, let's start practice not to judge anyone outside of us just for the sake of judging. Because automatically the moment that we go out from our house and we see people and we experience life, we judge constantly in our house and outside of our house. To try to make an effort not to judge no one, to accept reality as is, and from here we want to improve it. But the first thing, to accept this is reality, not to judge it as bad or good. This is reality. What is the reality that I'm striving for? This is what I should strive for. I'm not saying that this is bad. I'm striving for a different reality. And the energy that will be created by that, first we will reduce judgment among us. The moment that we will reduce judgment among us, then it will be a proper base towards the next step of getting closer to unity. But first, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. And it starts in the most simple one, which is very hard, not to judge situations in life and not to judge others. So therefore, the work that we have here to do is a spiritual work to prepare ourselves towards Purim, because it's not just coming and listening to the reading of the Megillah, learning about the miracle that took place or reading about the miracle. Because if we want that energy of miracles in our life, we need to be in a similar frequency. And that frequency in that time, they did not judge one another. They didn't say, I'm better, you are worse, and because of you, we have that problem in our life. They did not blame no one. Each one looked inwards and says, I did wrong, and therefore this problem this trouble came to the people of Israel. This situation that is very horrible came to the people of Israel, that there is a nation that wants to destroy us. They did not blame the other one, actions. They looked inwards and they fixed themselves instead to say the other person needs to do what he needs to do. No, I'm doing what I need to do and the rest I'm leaving to God. First, let's be in unity, and unity starts by me taking care of myself, taking responsibility to my own actions, changing myself, not changing others. I can share the idea with others. I'm not there to change them. It's something very important to share these spiritual ideas with others, but we cannot fix them, correct them, or tell them what to do in their life. We just share the information and then they do whatever their soul feels to do. The moment that more people will feel to be in the frequency of unity, and they will feel that truly all troubles are because we do bad one to another, and we do think bad one on another in different ways. Each one of us have some people that he thinks badly on them. So we need to clean it, to remove it. And then we'll get into a better place, energy level, better place. This would be a start of building the third temple. We need to start within us, and then the temple will be built. Yes, we need to pray for the third temple to be built soon in a merciful way, but we need to start inwards. God willing that from this Shabbat, Parashat Troma, we'll be able to receive the energy and the consciousness that we will be able to start to structure our own inward tabernacle. Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and happy Purim. Next week, Friday, again at 8:30 a.m. New York time. And we have an archive, and I will send the link. If you can pass the link on to other friends, then you can see the lessons in our archive. We are starting to structure it. Thank you very much. Kol Tov. Shabbat Shalom.